As nations and humanity progress, achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls will be a key parameter for society's success. While women's rights have improved compared to 50 years ago, urgent action still need to be taken to provide women and girls with access to education, skills, employment, and an ecosystem that enables them to thrive and contribute to society. This is what sustainable goal number 5, gender equality, entails and will be discussed in this video. Even in my growing up years, there were no differences in the way boys and girls were treated or given opportunities in my family. That, however, was not the case in the Indian society at large, and I noticed these differences, especially on dimensions like health, education, financial empowerment, and work opportunities. To me, that was simply not acceptable. Women form almost half the world's population, and no nation can deny inclusion and opportunities to half its population and hope to make progress. And to make this a better and more equal world for all of us. Here is why this is a critical goal for humanity. Amongst other key outcomes, Goal 5 targets to end all forms of discrimination against all women and girls everywhere, eliminate all forms of violence against all women and girls in the public and private spheres, ensure women's full and effective participation and equal opportunities for leadership at all levels of decision making in political, economic, and public life. In all societies, to varying degrees, women and girls are subjected to physical, sexual, and psychological abuse that cuts across all lines of income, class, and culture. Such violence is recognized as a violation of human rights and a form of discrimination against women, reflecting the pervasive imbalance of power between women and men. The World Economic Forum estimates it will take another century before true gender equality becomes a reality. Some of the key causes of gender inequality are uneven access to education. Around the world, women still have less access to education than men. One fourth of young women between the ages of 15 and 24 will not finish primary school. Of all the illiterate people in the world, two-thirds are women. Lack of legal protections. According to research from the World Bank, over 1 billion women don't have legal protection against domestic sexual violence or domestic economic violence. Both have a significant impact on women's ability to thrive and live in freedom. In many countries, there is also a lack of legal protections against harassment in the workplace, at school, and in public. Lack of bodily autonomy. Many women around the world do not have authority over their own bodies or when they become parents. Accessing birth control is frequently very difficult. According to WHO, over 200 million women who don't want to get pregnant are not using contraception due to lack of options, limited access, and cultural or religious opposition. On a global scale, about 40% of pregnancies are not planned, and while 50% of them do end in abortion, 38% result in births. These mothers often become financially dependent on another person or the state, losing their freedom. Emerging data from a new UN Women study confirms that the COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a shadow pandemic of violence against women. The findings reveal that women are feeling less safe at home as conflicts between adults at home have increased, along with the occurrence or threat of physical violence, or because other women in the household have been hurt. The SDG number 5 has ambitious targets to eliminate all harmful practices such as child, early, and forced marriage, and female genital mutilation, ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health and reproductive rights, enhance the use of enabling technology, in particular information and communications technology, to promote the empowerment of women. Economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic is having a harsher impact on women who are disproportionately represented in sectors offering low wages, few benefits, and the least secure jobs. Women globally lost $800 billion in income due to COVID-19, representing 5% of world jobs versus 3.9% for men. SDG number 8, which is aimed at providing inclusive employment opportunities and economic growth, is thus closely linked to SDG number 5. Democratized access to quality education, safe environments, access to toilets and sanitation, awareness building amongst the lower income strata on importance of and access to birth control, legal protection and conducive policies at work are some of the key measures that need to be implemented and sustained at scale. These will empower and enable girls and women to enjoy a safe world in which they can grow and achieve their potential. SDG number 5 targets range from ending all forms of discrimination against all women and girls everywhere to undertaking reforms to give women equal rights to economic resources as well as access to ownership and control over land and other forms of property, financial services, inheritance, and natural resources in accordance with national laws. To accelerate the metrics towards gender equality, governments, business, and individuals must act now. And this is what you can do. As girls and women, educate yourself first and foremost on your rights. Your rights to education, at workplace, legal protection in marriage, autonomy over your body. In the economically privileged communities and developed nations, we can do a lot by educating and contributing to causes that help our less privileged women peers. To make women go further and achieve their equitable status in society, men too can play a critical role in achieving gender equality and promoting women empowerment initiatives. Men as an ally can be a role model in elevating women's access to employment, appropriate working conditions, control of economic resources, and full participation in decision making. Government's primary task is to invest in awareness building, facilitating basic and sex education access, putting in place equal representation laws at workplace and in leadership positions in the government, ensure safety of women through the right policies and their implementation. The national government aims to eliminate gender inequality by 2030 by increasing women's economic independence and their representation in leadership positions. In 2012, to set an example, the government of the Netherlands has promised to achieve a 30% of leadership positions occupied by women during its term of office, a goal which has been met. The government also funds civil society organizations dedicated to women's rights through several frameworks, such as Funding Leadership and Opportunities for Women 2016-2020 and the Dutch National Action Plan Women, Peace and Safety. Progressive businesses have realized and data has proven that more successful businesses have better gender representation. This continues to be a significant opportunity for businesses to accelerate action. The SDGs explicitly call on all businesses to apply their creativity and innovation to solve sustainable development challenges. And here are some things that progressive businesses are already doing. 1. actively groom and provide women opportunities to get to senior leadership and board positions, thus inspiring other women to do the same and also creating a balanced work environment. Two, design and enforce maternity policies that ensure women can come back to their jobs seamlessly after maternity leave. Three, put in place policies and safety procedures that ensure women feel safe traveling to and from work and at the workplace. As you were able to see, there is much to be done to make our world a better, safer, and economically and socially empowering place for women. When women prosper, families, communities, and countries prosper. Let's all do our own bit to make gender equality a reality sooner rather than later.